Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Pass the Mic with Jackson and Austin. And tonight we've got a special show for you as we are doing NFL mock draft on Pass the Mic. We're going to do first 10, 15 picks of the first round, which is on Thursday night, and kind of give our take of how we think the draft's going to come out. And of course, we'll be taking your calls on all topics and subjects of all kinds, but that's what we've got lined up and planned for you tonight. It ought to be really fun. It's our first time doing this, so don't crucify us. And if you do decide to call in, we welcome all callers, all fan bases, but we will not take calls about religion, politics, or the great pumpkin, as Jackson says. Keep it within the sports world. And we also have a record-breaking history-making topic to discuss. We'll get in that later, a little bit later. But I'm your host, co-host, Sports Talk with Austin, and my good buddy, my partner in crime, the guy that I look at as like an extended family member, Jackson Johnson of the Jacksonian. Jackson, how are you?
Doing pretty good, buddy.
Early Wednesday and early Tuesday. I mean, late Tuesday, early Wednesday.
There we go. I'm doing pretty good, Austin. Just staying busy and getting some behind-the-scenes work done. How you doing today, good buddy?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Enjoying myself. Kind of excited to do a little mock draft. First year we've done this, and who knows, maybe we'll do it again next year. But it should be interesting. If you're ready, Jack, I'm ready to get into some drafting.
There we go. Jared Thomas already has a suggestion for us. He believes Travis Hunter should go number one. He's the best player in the draft. We will go number one, though, is Cam Ward because he's a quarterback. Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting to see what happens with Titans. What are they going to do for 2025 and beyond?
So with the first overall pick is the Tennessee Titans. And since Jackson is a Reverend Titans fan, Jackson, you tell me, what pick do you want to make for the Titans?
I'll go.
Or is there a trade you want to make?
Well, if they were me, I'd trade Titans to the nearest sucker in the NFL. There's always somebody willing to mortgage their future. There is always somebody. And
so, if we were to propose a trade, who would you like to trade with, Jack?
I'll trade to those morons in Cleveland.
Trade to Cleveland? There you go, Browns. Mm-hmm. And we'll trade with. Let me find the Titans here. Where is the Titans? Come on, Titans.
Next to the Buccaneers. There it is.
Okay. So, what we'll do is we'll trade Cleveland's second round pick with the Titans. What do you say, Jack? You're going to trade Cleveland's second round.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, if I could say this. Does that look good? Is that what you want?
Looks all right to me. Or let's look at the rest of the draft, shall we?
Gotcha.
If I were Shedeur, I would refuse to be drafted to the Jets. I couldn't agree more. Let's see. Let's look.
I mean,
why didn't I think of that? The Panthers. Huh.
You want to trade with the Panthers?
Oh, yeah. Well, let Panthers have number one draft pick. And in the meantime, we can fleece that moron David Tepper out of his little picks. Well, that's just me now.
Okay, so we'll trade the Panther. We'll trade daggone it. We'll trade the Tennessee with Carolina, and we'll make a little swippy swap here. Propose, confirm, and the trade has been accepted. Now the Panthers are on the clock at number one. If I'm the Panthers, Jackson, where would I go if this were to happen?
Oh, I'd take Travis Hunter.
Who
Let's
should we
just,
give? Okay,
let's look at the
Travis
Panthers'
Hunter,
needs.
you're a
Double check. There we go. There we go.
so the Cleveland Browns, Jackson, they're next on the clock at number 2, and their needs are quarterback, receiver, offensive tackle, running back, and DT.
You
What do you
better
think,
get
good
Shador
buddy?
Sanders.
What should we
You
give them?
better get you better get Cam Ward. I mean,
There you go, Browns.
He's
We'll give you
better
something
than
nice.
he's better than Deshaun.
Okay, Jackson, the Giants are up next. Who are we thinking the Giants should take?
Let's go with Will Campbell, the offensive tackle.
The Patriots. I mean, the Patriots don't always make the sexiest of picks. I could see them going Mason Graham or the offensive tackle from Missouri. I could see them going Will Johnson. What do you think, good buddy?
Well, let's see what their needs are first. Hey, what's good, Hummus Hero? How you doing tonight, man? Good to see you.
What's up, Hummus? Their team needs, Jack, are offensive tackle, receiver, edge, offensive guard, and corner. Well, Will Johnson is right there waiting for him.
I'm gonna go with Mimbo from Missouri. Mimbo, yeah.
Well, Mr. Mimbo, you're a proud Patriot. The Jacksonville Jaguars are next, Jackson, at number 5. Who should we give for Trevor Lawrence?
Well, let's look at their needs.
They need DT, tight end, corner, offensive tackle, and wide receiver.
I'm going McMillan from Arizona. I want to get him. If I'm the Jaguars, I want to make sure I keep Trevor Lawrence happy.
The Raiders at number 6. The Raiders, Jack, they need corner, running back, receiver, safety, and DT.
That's where you get Ashton Genty.
Good. I've seen that quite a bit. With the 7th pick, you've got the Jets now. The Jets need offensive tackle, D tackle, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. The Jets need a lot of help.
Oh, God, they do. That's where you get Tyler Warren from Penn State.
I would tend to agree with that too, good buddy. Okay, now we're back to your Titans again.
Uh-huh.
And you all need quarterback, receiver, edge, corner, linebacker. Shador's sitting there, Will Johnson, Abdul Carter, Matthew Golden, Kelvin Banks. There's a Colston Loveland. Y'all got a lot of options still here, Jack, even after trading with the Panthers.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing tonight? Hey, to your girlfriend as well. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and we've got a lot. We've got 11 people watching on X. Come on over to YouTube. To those that are watching on X/Twitter, come on into my YouTube and on Austin's channel on Sports Talk with Austin. Come on in. I know,
and
right?
We posted a call-in. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, 1-2 was saying whoever the Jets pick, they curse. I know, right? Like they were the only team throughout the 4 sports leagues that didn't make a playoff during the tenure of Pope Francis. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's how incompetent Woody Johnson is. I mean, he may be a wealthy dude, but he's a deadbeat in my book.
Mm-hmm. So, Jackson, may I propose this to you?
Okay.
If Abdul Carter is still sitting there, would the Tennessee Titans take him and build from the defense? Start with the defense.
Take him, Slim.
Mr. Abdul Carter, welcome to Nashville. and the Saints are on the clock. Now, the Saints need a lot of help too, Jack. They need an offensive guard, receiver, corner, edge, running back. Where do the Saints go?
You get Will Johnson from Michigan.
I like it. Now, some people are thinking possibly they could take a quarterback if Derek Carr couldn't stay healthy. But, okay, Jack, this one might seem like a pretty slap in the face. But the Bears, I think they would take Kelvin Banks from Texas because they need some O-line protection.
Go for
Would you
it.
agree with that?
I mean, Caleb Williams needs all the protection he can get. I mean, if he's to succeed, they better get some O linemen.
The 49ers with the 11th pick are on the clock, Jack. They
Go
need
get
DT,
Mason
corners,
Graham.
linebackers.
Get
Mason Graham. Mason Graham,
Yep.
you're a proud 49er. All right, Jack. We need a lot of help too. I want to hear your opinion. Where do you think my Cowboys should go?
Well, let's see. You better get Stewart from Texas A&M. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, or maybe Matthew Golden to pair with or maybe Javon Walker. That would be nice. Colston Loveland. Let's see here. There's your guy, Tyler Booker. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry took an offensive guard. Let's see. James Pierce Jr. There's Jackson Dark, Omar Hampton.
Amika
Jackson. I think honestly, Jack, I think Jerry likes his flashy players. I think Jerry's gonna get Stewart as well to pair with Micah. The Dolphins. Okay. Where do you think the Dolphins could go, Jack?
Let's get a Matthew Golden.
Ooh, have some more speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jackson. Are you going to be nice to the Colts and give them something good?
I'm nice to the Colts. I'm just not nice to Jim Irsay.
So, Jackson, the Colts could go many ways with this. Could they draft tight end? I mean, could they go Colston Loveland here? Or do you think they would go for Shador? I mean, that would be kind of hasty.
I would get Colston Loveland.
The Falcons got themselves set up nice for the future. I mean, as we go down here, is there anybody that jumps off the page that could help the Falcons?
Let's see.
Xavier Watts from Notre Dame, I think, would be a good addition. They do need safety help.
Go get Xavier, man. Go get him. That's what I say.
Okay, then the Cardinals, they're the retirement home. They need a lot. They need an edge, a D tackle, receiver, offensive guard, linebacker. Well, then Jalen Walker is sitting right there waiting on you then. There you go, Cardinals. The Bengals at 17.
Jeez. Let's get Mike Green.
Mike Green, edge out of Marshall. Here we go. The Seattle Seahawks. If this happens, Jackson, we still haven't given Shador a home yet.
It wouldn't be that far. That's why it's like our mock draft. I mean, somebody's gonna get Shador in the first 10 picks.
Mm-hmm. So for the Seahawks, Jackson, what are you thinking? Because they're kind of rebuilding, kind of restarting. What's a good pick for them?
Well, let's see. The QB situation. How are you feeling about the QB situation in Seattle? Oh, Kodiak Broncos podcast. Nice. Says, I hope the Broncos pick Harmon. That would be neat. And
Troy V says, I keep seeing Warren getting picked by the Bears. I would hate that. I would, Troy, here's the thing, too. Me and Jackson picked an O lineman for the Bears because we feel like that would be the best benefit for y'all's situation. And 1-2 says Shador is dollars for the team that picks him. He will bring eyeballs to ticket sales. How can they not pick him? Only if they don't like money. Well, that's true.
I would get
And how is
Jada Barron for the Seahawks, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree. Shador's going to bring a lot of money for whoever gets him.
At number 19, Jack, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, theirs is mostly defense, so we know they're happy with Baker Mayfield. Does Derek Harmon, does Malachi Starks, does maybe your guy Tyler Booker, does he come off the board? Walter Nolan. What are we thinking, Jack? What do you see in the Buccaneers' future?
Let's look at the picks needs again.
They need corners, safeties, edge, linebackers, and D tackles. So they need a lot of key defensive pieces.
Well, let's see. I would go with the safety.
Go with the best safety available, Malachi Starks. Unless there's another one you like.
Starts goes
From
him. Because I want to get the
Starks.
Broncos Harmon.
Broncos, Derek Harmon. The master has spoken. D tackle. Now the Steelers, Jack. Is this where Shador comes in at? Are we picking Shador for the Steelers?
Shador Sanders to the Steelers it is. Because let's be real. Russell Wilson is gone. Justin Fields is gone. If they're waiting this long to wait for Aaron Rodgers, I don't even think they want him. So they're going to be like, you know what? Let's start the Shador Sanders era in Pittsburgh.
I couldn't agree more. The Chargers, Jackson, their team needs is they need a tight end, D tackle, receiver, corner, and an OC. Could this be something, Jackson, where they get a Buka? Could Harbaugh go a Buka? Or knowing Harbaugh's style.
Go get a Buka. Get him.
Or knowing Harbaugh's style, does he take Kenneth Grant from Michigan? Build some defense.
Oh, that's good too.
Kenneth Grant?
I think Harbaugh wants a little reunion with Kenneth Grant. And yes, we are following the NBA playoffs 1-2. We are following that.
Yes. We will talk about that here in just a minute. Don't you worry, 1-2. We are following that. We're just doing the mock draft tonight because Thursday night's the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought this would be a cool idea.
Does the first round streak continue for the Alabama Crimson Tide in this mock draft?
Yes. Right now it's not looking too high, but we've got a couple picks to go.
Let's see.
The Packers. Where do we think the Packers might go?
Get them. Get them the Georgia man, the Georgia edge, Mr. Williams.
The Vikings. They need. Is this where Tyler Booker gets taken for the Crimson Tide?
The first round streak continues for Alabama.
I'm glad we were able to get that one in because the Vikings do need an offensive guard, and this would be a perfect time to take it.
Get Walter Nolan for the Texans. Get him.
Good pick, Jack. Good pick. How about the Rams? What does Sean McVay have up his sleeve on Thursday night? Who does he take to help?
Todd Campbell to the Rams.
And just like that, Bama with back-to-back first round picks. Well, almost back-to-back. Booker and Campbell are gone. How about the Ravens?
There you go.
I mean, the Ravens need a lot of defense. They need offensive guard, corner, edge, linebacker, safety.
Get him
Anybody
the
sticking
young
out to
man
you?
from North Dakota State. I gotta tell you,
Let me find.
Those North Dakota boys will chew you up like a chicken nugget.
There we go. You're a proud Raven. How about the Detroit Lions biting some kneecaps?
God,
Who's gonna?
they need one or two key pieces. Let's look at them.
They need edge, offensive guard, cornerback, safety, and wide receiver.
Give them Emeka Egbuka.
Mr.
Thank
Ibuka,
you.
you are a first round.
1-2 says, thanks for covering so many sports, guys, especially during this time of great sports famine until football season. Thank you for tuning in, good buddy. We appreciate you subscribing and following us and tuning in to what we guys say. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, thank you, 1-2, and thank you to everybody that is here and that watches us weekly. We enjoy doing this, and it's something to pass the time until college football is back. And then me and Jackson will dive headfirst back into college football with our 2 weekly shows. But we're covering everything. And as you can see, we're no professionals at this. I mean, I would like to think we're doing a good job, but we'll let you all be the judge of that when we're done here.
Oh, Feinbaum seems to like it, I guess. I mean, he's liking a certain someone calling in.
At 29, Jackson, the Washington Commanders. Now, they had a big offseason getting Deebo Samuel. It says they need another receiver, but what are we thinking for the Commanders, good buddy?
Let's look at the list.
They need edge, corner, safety, linebacker, receiver. I disagree. I think Deebo and Terry, I mean,
they're good enough.
Let's look at the defense here. So I think we need to get them some defensive help. What are we thinking, good buddy?
Maxwell Hairston. Our friend from Last Word on College Football, Kevin McGuffrey, has been bragging about these young men from Kentucky. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to take his word on it, and I'm going to go with the Kentucky boys. Get some draft steals.
At number 30, Jack, we've got the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills need corner, DT, linebacker, edge, receivers. Let's look at them all again. I mean, do we get Josh Allen another weapon, or do we draft him James Pierce, maybe Nick Skelton from A&M? Do we get him a corner, Trey Almost, Luther Burden? Who we thinking?
Trey Amos. But Luther
Mr.
Burden.
Amos?
Huh.
I'll leave it up to you, Jack, because I could see him getting Josh Allen another receiver, but I could also see him getting some defensive help too. Especially
get Donovan from Boston College. Get Donovan from Boston College.
Here we go. Now, these two are the teams that made the Super Bowl last year. So, the Chiefs...
They don't need anything. I'm just kidding.
I mean, they do need an offensive tackle. So, let's get Patrick Mahomes. Here we go. Let's get him an offensive tackle here. Son of a gun. Where's Mr. Simmons at? Josh Simmons from Ohio State. Welcome to Kansas City. Okay. Listen, I know I'm trying to be unbiased and fair here, but can we just trade the Eagles pick away?
I'm afraid it don't work. Well,
I mean, in our mock draft it does, but you're right, good buddy. In all fairness, would the Eagles trade their pick away?
No.
Probably not. So what do we want to get the Eagles?
Give him James Pierce from Tennessee.
Oh, thanks. And with that...
He couldn't do anything against the Buckeyes anyhow, but I digress.
Full result. And with that concludes our mock draft round 1. Our only mock draft for at least round 1. We might do round 2 or 3, maybe, talk about it. But Let us know what you all think in the comments section. Do you like our mock draft? Do you think this is realistic? What do you think of it, Jack? Do you think we did okay?
We did all right. I mean, we're no Todd McShay, but it's all right.
Yeah, I think we did fine. I mean, we really didn't make any egregious picks, if I'm being honest. I mean, like you look at a couple of them, like for example, like the Panthers getting the number 1 pick again. I mean, would that be possible?
It's there's always a
And
dumb
1-2 says Travis Hunter needs to go to a team that will let him play both both off and offense and defense. Get my wording right. Yeah, the Panthers, that would be a good one. Like the Titans. I mean, it'd be interesting for sure. I mean, I don't think we did too bad. I mean, considering it's our first one. And I'll say this too, Jack. If this is how this turns out, would you be happy with it? If our draft does come to fruition, would you be happy with that?
That'd be pretty cool. We may go viral. Be like, oh, that's a hot take.
I'll say this, Jackson, too. And I'll say this. If the Titans take a dual Carter, that would be a pretty good pick, too.
But yeah, in all realistic fashion, Titans aren't giving up their number 1 draft pick. I'd like for them to, just to get somebody to trade all their picks, but that's not happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, buddy. Yeah, I'm very say, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And just posted the call-in link for the show if you'd like to call in and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. And speaking of the NBA, Jack, let's check in on the NBA, shall we?
I think the Lakers are beating. I think the Lakers are beating the Timberwolves like a drum tonight. Oh no, they're not. No, they're beating them, but they weren't beating them like a drum in the first half.
Let's see here. Let's get today's score, shall we? Here we go. And let's check in. Let me share the screen with our audience. Check in on our NBA here for our NBA folks watching. Here we go. And there, as we sit currently right now, the Timberwolves are down 11 to the Lakers with 16.8 to go, and this series is going to be 1-1 going back to Minnesota. The Pacers beat the Bucks, and the Thunder beat the brakes off the Grizzlies again. Jackson, it's looking like, if everything holds, it's looking like the Thunder are going to be our only hope. Our only hope to stop the Lakers. I like to think the Nuggets could do it, but we'll have to see.
Clippers, I mean, I feel like they're going to blow it somehow. Yeah, we should. We'll check on the StreamYard thing. Hold on one sec.
Wow, Jackson's checking on that. Let's look at tomorrow night's games, Wednesday night. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, you've got Magic Celtics game 2 from Boston. Celtics will win that game, I think. What do you think, Jack? Do you think the Magic can pull off an upset in game 2? because
No.
Jason Tatum is questionable.
I feel like the money is on Lakers Celtics for the NBA Finals, unfortunately. It's like, I don't know why, but it's just
Mhm.
it feels like we're going to be having a 2020 edition of the Lakers Celtics NBA Finals. There's just like some rule
Jackson,
from the
don't say that. Like, stop saying that, good buddy. You're gonna
I'm
jinx
just
us.
saying, like, usually with the teams that have like the really best records, they don't last long. They do not last long, or they fall apart somehow. I'm hoping I'm wrong about this, but the Cavs, we're gonna wait and see. I mean, the Heat, they're usually very good as underdogs in the playoffs. That's something to keep an eye on.
Mhm. And then the nightcap Warriors Rockets. I mean, this is one of them series, and me and Jeffrey talked about it on our stream. The Warriors can easily win this series just off their championship experience and how young Houston is. And I would not be shocked if the Warriors were to make it to the Western Conference Finals. Would not be shocked. Would not. But that's Wednesday night's games. Games Thursday nights. Let's take a look, shall we? Thursday night, we've got Knicks Pistons in Detroit, and a good buddy of ours, Jackson, Mr. TJ Ronan at the Voice of College Football. I hear he's a huge Pistons fan.
Yep. And our buddy Gabe from Rutgers at the Voice College Football, who's not only the co-host of the Rutgers channel for the Voice College Football, but he is basically, the underrated version of Shams on ESPN. Why do I say that exactly? Because he is the founder and CEO of NBA Trades and Rumors.com. I can tell you right now, he's a freaking magician when it comes to the NBA. I can tell you right now. I mean, it's like, and the Nets are his team, by the way. So there we go. So I promised him, like, I won't be mean to Nets first. Say I'm not mean to Nets so much them being the Nets. It's just that James Dolan owns them, so I'm just being mean to Dolan. He stinks.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, he has kept Tom Thibodeau, so it's like, okay, you got that going for you.
Mm-hmm. And Thunder Grizzlies Thursday night back in Memphis.
They're gonna get swept.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then game 3 of our series on NBA TV at 10 o'clock.
Oh, Clippers, I feel like are gonna blow it. I want to see the Clippers make it to a Western Conference Finals or make it to the NBA Finals for once in my life. I actually do.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing too, Jack. I'll say this too. I mean, I don't have anything against the Clippers. If they were playing any other series, I would be totally cool with them winning. But the fact they're playing my team, it like nothing personal, Clippers, but you just cannot. It cannot happen. We cannot let it happen.
All righty, we got our first caller of the night. We got Dan the Diesel Freak giving his take on the NFL draft. How you doing tonight, man? Hello.
Yeah. Hey, sorry about the speaker link difficulty. I had to create another account just so it wouldn't be a pain in the butt. But Jackson, Austin, can we please play the footage from last week of the comments made by your buddy Tim Prangley, or as I like to call him, Little Timmy Turner?
Let me see. What do you think, Austin?
I mean, if you want to get into it, we can.
Because I have a little proposal for. Because I have a little proposal for Timmy Turner.
I like old Timmy Turner. He rolls. Talking about from Fairly Odd Parents? Like, yeah, he's funny, man.
No,
Big-
I call Tim Prangley little Timmy Turner.
Why you call him that exactly?
Reasons, but I'll explain that on another episode.
Okay. Duly noted.
Like, here's my deal. Tim, if you're watching or if you're listening, if you're in Southern Cal, which probably you are, I've got a little challenge for you. This Sunday night, 7 p.m., the Unsanctioned Show. You're probably asking, what's an unsanctioned show? Austin, what do you think an unsanctioned show means?
Let me guess. It's anything goes. Have any conversation you want. There's no rules.
Ding, 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 ding. Correctamundo, my good sir. So, Tim, little Tim Prangley, if you got the guts, accept my challenge.
Why don't you call it on the USCLAFB channel?
He knows if I call in, I'm literally the first one. I called into a Southern Cal VOCFB show previously, and I got blocked because of that. So I called out Southern Cal for their bad coaching. Not surprised.
You didn't call Tim any names, did you?
No, I didn't. I just basically stated that Southern Cal has bad coaching,
Okay.
and Ohio State's a better team than Southern Cal. It's not a whole nother mile.
Okay.
But he gets too sensitive when I mention Ohio State. Too sensitive. And I've said before, Southern Cal fans are the worst fans. And I don't even know why they're in the Big Ten even.
I think why they're not in the Big Ten is because they realized the Pac-12 is going to be dead, like left in the water. So they jumped out of that sinking ship as much as possible.
Well, then Southern Cal made the dumb decision of jumping into the Lions' Den, which is basically the Big Ten, which has Ohio State in it, which basically means that if you have to get lined up to play Ohio State, it's pretty much an execution. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
What? We play UCLA this year, and we're going to destroy them.
Well, I mean, UCLA sucks. So, I mean.
And Southern Cal sucks, too.
Listen, Dan, with much respect and love, don't get too ahead of yourself because Ohio State has fallen victim to teams lesser than them once before. Do you remember 2018 against Purdue?
Do I remember 2018 against Purdue? Of course, I watched that game. The only reason that game was won by Purdue was because of a sick kid that basically supported Purdue, and Drew Brees asked the locker room to step up for the kid.
But what?
Austin, do I need to be reminded, or do I need to have Ohio State schedule Louisville to kick the living out of them?
Listen, why are you bringing my team into this? I was simply making a statement. Don't overlook anybody. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday. It's been proven once before, many times throughout the annals of history. Not just with Ohio State, but with A&M, with Alabama, with Louisville, with any team, you name it, upsets can happen to any one of them.
And you're saying this because why?
Because you're over here saying UCLA and USC suck, that they're going to line up against Ohio State, when it's not exactly like that. Because USC can beat Ohio State. All it takes is one or two things to go wrong for you guys, and they can beat you.
Also, let me remind you, this defense on our team right now is about to be really stout, and it's really going to dominate. And not only our defense, but our offense is looking really well. And with Lincoln Holtz, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, we're going to be an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. And may I need remind you, we're the same team who had a Hall of Fame coach come into the program and basically said this program should be the way it was done before. How the great Woody Hayes said it. The great Woody Hayes set the tone. Coach Dressel pretty much followed in the footsteps of the great Woody Hayes and made our program not only just the best program, but the most feared program in all college football. That's the way it should be ran in our world of college football. I don't care if the money or anything else. You want to be the top program, you got to be feared by everybody in the conference. That includes everybody. And I don't care if you're Oregon, you're Georgia, Alabama. I don't care. Ohio State's a team that you don't mess with and a team you don't underestimate. Because we could come in there and absolutely destroy you. And as far as I'm concerned, Austin, Alabama plays us in the next couple of years. And they're coming into our house the first year. And I told Jackson that I said, basically, Alabama coming to our house is their death sentence. So I'm going to be enjoying both of their defeats at our hands big time because it's owed.
I'll say this. I don't think there's a lot. There's probably the smaller teams that fear you guys, but if we're talking Oregon, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, they don't fear you because they're on the same level as you guys. Alabama can very much beat you guys in Ohio. I have no doubt in my mind. Do I think they will? Time will tell.
You say time will tell when I know that Ohio State is a team that's ready to handle anybody and seem fit to be ready for anybody. And that was proven. We beat Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame to win a national championship. We went toe-to-toe with Georgia for 60 minutes, came 1 point short of defeating an undefeated Georgia team who slaughtered their entire schedule and ragged on every single buddy on their schedule. We're that same team. We're also the same team who blew out 6 other teams and then beat the living holy heck out of Michigan. And then we're also the same team who had some of the most feared defensive players in the entire league, in the entire division. 12 of them to be exact. Actually 13 to be exact. We're also the same school who had the most feared linebacker, one of the most feared, Andy the freaking Big Cat Katzenmoyer. Now, how many guys do you find that's that size, that's that cold-hearted? None. Let me remind you, that is the same program who had some of the most fear-driven guys. And I'll tell Tim this. He's lucky I didn't suit up for Ohio State and I didn't take that offer to Ohio State. Because if I did, everybody's dead. I'm a dead man. I'm telling you that. And I'd be begging Coach to have every single one of everybody I wanted scheduled to be a dead man walking. Truth be told, you're lucky me and my boys from over home ain't at Ohio State playing football right now. Because UCS in Michigan is pretty much dead meat on a silver platter. And we're going to be eating them all like dinner night on a Friday night.
Well, you all have said that the last 4 times you played Michigan, and what's been resolved? You've been beat up by the Wolverines, and they planted the flag in the middle of your field.
Austin, did you not hear what let me repeat this for you. I said if me and my brothers from home were on that roster, basically Michigan would be dead man walking. And I basically said that. And I hope you heard that. Because clearly it seems like your hearing isn't working like it is.
I heard you perfectly loud and clear. But I don't
Jackson
think
knows it too.
three people make it. I don't think three people make a difference. Michigan has been the better team than Ohio State the last 4 years. Yeah, y'all won a natty. Good job. But what happens when y'all play the game, play the biggest game in college sports? Y'all come up short.
See, when you add 6 other guys who have the mentality of the last generation of some of the most feared players in college football, and even the most feared guys in the NFL that want a team to be driven to be the absolute best, but also want them to step up their game, that makes a huge difference in factor. And especially the game, as far as I'm concerned, if me and 6 other guys were on that roster, like I said, Michigan would be dead meat, dead man walking. The only reason they were winning was because they cheated like cowards. And that's all they are is cowards.
I'm glad you're putting all these asterisks on Michigan, but let me ask you something. Did Michigan cheat last year to beat you, or were they just a tougher team?
I wouldn't say tougher.
Y'all had 60 minutes to prove it, but then what happens when they go to plant the flag on your field? Then y'all want to act tough instead of be tough. You had 60 minutes to prove it out there on the field. What happened? You got beat around, and then y'all want to act tough and push people around. Like Cleo Mullen said, y'all got to learn how to lose.
Well, I'm polishing up my national championship ring right now, listening to you. And 3, Austin. I'll tell you this. This year is the change in that roster, but also the change in the mentality. Ever since we won the national championship, I feel like that's really helped the mentality of that locker room pick up. But also at the same time, it's given the guys a little more time to focus on what's most important.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year we really get things done. And as far as Louisville is concerned, I would keep your mouth shut because you don't have a national championship ring right now.
No, we don't. You're right. But hey, we do have national titles. It's just not in football. It's called basketball. Maybe if Ohio State learned what that was, they could be dominant in both sports. But hey, not everybody can be good at everything.
Well,
Not
you know what?
everybody can be multi-sport school like Louisville.
Well, here's the thing: 9 national championship rings is good, but we're the team who's going after more national championship rings. We might go for 10. We might go for 11. We might win 12. We might have 13 national championships, even 14. The 3 highest schools with the most national championships are Yale, Alabama, and Harvard. Is there a chance we could pass both Harvard and Alabama? Yes, because we have a good team, but also our coaching staff is good, and now we've got a good defensive coordinator in Matt Patricia that could change things. And we could go back to back national championships. Now, is that possible? Yes. Is it likely? Yes. Will it take a lot of blood and sweat? Of course. Are we ready for that role? Yes, we are, because we're the Ohio State University. You got a problem with that? Why don't you come up to Columbus and play us 60 minutes, and we'll see who's the last team standing. How about that?
What do you think, Jack? You think we should take him up on that offer?
If you want to, it's up to y'all.
Unless you're a bunch of scaredy cats and you're chickens.
Hey, listen here. Listen, Jackson's an Alabama fan, so Jackson has more merit in this conversation than I do. But you better be careful what you say.
Well then, here's the thing, Austin. Why don't you let Jackson do your talking since you can't because you don't have more national championships in college football?
That's cool. Jackson's his own man. Jackson Go right ahead. I got no problem.
18 natties.
16.
Well, we got a lot of them. Either way, still pretty awesome.
Well, you may have 16, but we'll be up there soon. Heck, we might be the first team to have 17 national championships.
Okay.
We'll see about that. I mean, only time will tell. Time will tell.
But here's a little something that I learned to use once in a while. As a dear friend of, by the way, the name of Ian McDermott says, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Well, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen it to do, and it will go to pass at Ohio State. Well, we'll be up there to win another national championship, then maybe 3 more, 4 more. I don't know. Time will just count and pass, as it does.
All right, man. Anything else you got for us tonight?
Well, the girlfriend says hello to you two boys. I was just with her earlier before I went to work, and she said to me, she said, "Do you listen to that Jackson guy?" I said, "Yeah, I do." She said, "Isn't he funny?" I said, "What do you mean? How is he funny, by the way?" He said, and then she said, "His accent's cute." I'm like, "Well, because he's an Alabama boy. What do you think?"
Well, that's a first.
Well, my woman is a one of one special, and she takes good care of me when I need it. But that's just because she loves me, just because I'm one talented, marvelous, and absolutely a stout of a boyfriend. And Jackson, I'll just tell you, having someone like my girlfriend, ooh, buddy, it's really, really nice. And I'll tell you what, Jackson, I'm sorry you're missing out on having a girlfriend like mine because, well, I guess you could say she really is the total package.
All right.
We'll see you boys later.
I'll see you later, Dan. That was quite an experience right there. But
boy, howdy, was that an experience? But yes, glad you brought that up, Jack.
yeah, Big Beam was asking us about that.
What are your thoughts on it, Jackson? I had my thoughts, but I want to hear
That's
yours.
a little too early to retire jerseys, I think.
I mean, what they did for Colorado as far as ratings and money wise and all that, yes, probably is very, and of course Dion is very impactful for the program and its history. But I will say, as far as win percentage and getting things done, yeah, yikes. But if we're talking dimes and cents, yes, they're very much deserving of it. And Travis winning the Heisman was just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And
don't look at the chat. It's so funny.
I'm ignoring them because they're love you guys, but y'all are like I don't even know. But I wanted to share this because this is interesting. As we get closer to the college football season, these rankings start to come out. And I wanted to get your take, Jackson, on ranking the Big Ten starting quarterbacks quarterbacks going into next year. And here's the full list in order. What do we think of this, Jackson? Do we like the list? Is Drew Aller the number one quarterback going into next year?
I guess we'll wait and see. He's going to have to win the big games, especially in week 5 against Oregon and in early November against Ohio State.
What do you think about this, Jackson? Julian saying at number 2. Not that we haven't seen much from the kid. That's awful high for a product we haven't seen yet. At least with Drew Aller, we have bunches
I
of
feel like
tapes to
Bryce
offer.
Underwood should be a little higher than 4, but Dante Moore, I like him at 3.
Luke Altmaier at 5. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, he's got his flaws, but he's really good. Dylan Raiola at 7. And even Troy V is an Ohio State fan, is even saying at 2 and Underwood at 4. Come on, man.
Oh, that's a post from April 11th. Joey Aguilar's at Tennessee now.
Yes. I was about ready to, before you jumped on that, Jack, I was going to get to that. I was like, for context, this was posted on April 11th. But, I mean, as of now, this is pretty. And he says we're writing the class teams, not our post sucks. Yep. I'm not going to say that bad word there, but Jackson has no problem saying it.
No, I have no issue with that. Rest Big Ten sucks ass.
What do you think about this, though, Jackson? The worst quarterback they have is Minnesota's quarterback. What do you think about that?
Fair
you think
point.
He's going to be the worst?
I mean, we talked about Iowa's passing game being not so good, but Minnesota's is terrible.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza at 10. I mean, interesting. Aiden Childs, Billy Edwards Jr., the Maryland transfer. I mean, we'll see what Luke Fickell's got. And like Bean says, you need to see a good sample size to compare. That's true. I mean, a lot of this is based off the newcomers and where everyone's gone. Like Jackson prefaced, Joey Aguilar, he went to Tennessee, so he's off the list. He's not credible anymore.
Well, I mean,
overall,
Nico Lima-Leva, I mean, we could put him up at 12.
Based on what he did at Tennessee, I mean, could we put him in the top 10, or is that a bit hasty?
It's a little hasty.
Okay.
I mean, because like I'm a little bit that last play against Arkansas, where he decides he's going to run instead of try to make a pass. Like, come on, no, that's a bad move right there. And yeah, and you did say we'll talk a little bit about UCLA in just a bit, because they not only got Nico, but they got another guy as well.
And also, Jack, as Troy says, yep, the rest of the Big Ten has been terrible outside of that one team, which will be nameless. LOL. OSU was the only thing making the Big Ten relevant for a long time. I would agree. I would say, yeah, Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan were the 3 teams that were holding the Big Ten up for the longest time. Even though Penn State would always choke the 2 games, but they would always end up in the New Year's Six Bowl because of, well, let's just be honest, because Ohio State and Michigan were in the playoffs. But, I mean, overall, though, Jack, I don't mind this list. It's not terrible. I mean, Aller won. I mean, it's hard to argue. especially with the rest of this list. I mean, is there anybody, Jackson, that you would put ahead of Aller if we're looking at it objectively right now? Is there anybody that's proven
Not
to be
at
better than
all
him?
now.
And like you said, though, Jack, speaking of UCLA, like you
Cool.
said,
It's a dung heap.
they got a new transfer, Nico's brother from Arkansas. Madden Amalilo, I think's how you say his name.
I
Well,
swear, like
listen.
some of these dads these days for college football and college basketball, I swear they're like pageant moms. I swear. Where it's like they're
You're
living
fat.
through their kids. They've never accomplished anything their whole life. It's sets on a Saturday night, getting drunk on tequila while having it. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna live through my kids. I screwed up my whole life, so I'm gonna live through my kids. Like, because I mean, like, we can get annoyed with LeVar Ball, but at least he meant well. But this Lima Leva, like Coach Lima Leva or Nico's dad or whatever the hell he calls himself, I gotta tell you, he's a moron. He's a complete total moron. He didn't do anything on studying state taxes, income, nothing. He is bad with finances. He's like, oh, Tennessee and Arkansas aren't going to tell my boys what to do. Nah, it's okay. Well, we'll just put them at UCLA. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, bro. Okay.
As you can see, Jackson is not too thrilled. And Jackson, we just went from a PG show to all of a sudden rated R.
Well, we usually don't have it, but that usually comes from me. But I usually just kind of save the moment.
Instead of I don't care my ACL would have gone from.
Oh God. Is Napoleon Dynamite references tonight.
Oh, this is how we've gone off the rails completely bad in a hurry. We've gone from Mr. Lama Lebo and his exemplary Saturday nights to all of a sudden Napoleon Dynamite. What's next? Hit me with
Well,
the
I
good
can
stuff
tell you
next.
this. I can tell you this. He's like one of those pageant moms. Lives through his kids, rides their coattails, doesn't do nothing except lick his fingers to count that money with the shades on.
Joey says off the rails. This show saying ain't so. Unfortunately, Troy, we've gone off the rails. This is what happens.
Oh yeah.
You should have seen
the national. You should have seen the national title show for the Voice College Football, the pregame show. Oh my God, that was one of the funniest experiences ever. Where, oh man, I forgot, but somebody was messing with Mark. He's like, oh no, and like one of his helmets fell by. He bumped in one of his helmets, and he went, "My brain is about to effing explode."
Yeah,
he don't use the F-bomb, but when he does, it's epic. Like hearing Mark Rogers use the F-bomb is like hearing Tom and Jerry talk. You don't expect it, but you have a great time hearing it all the same.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing too, Jackson. We forgot to mention this, but
Aguilar.
We forgot to mention this, Jackson, but there was some breaking news this past weekend that Lee Corso is officially announcing his retirement at the beginning of the 2025 college football season. Mr. Lee Corso is riding off into the sunset. How could we forget this? I'm so ashamed that we need to pay our respects to the legend.
He is a legend.
Go ahead.
I mean, because it's like there is no college game day without Lee Corso. It's like trying to imagine Wheel of Fortune without Pat Sajak or The Price is Right without Bob Barker. You just don't think of
Mhm.
College Game Day without Lee Corso. And you don't think about college basketball commentary without Dick Vitale. I mean, this is the
Mhm.
beginning of an end of an era. And, it was like, who would have thought, like, he didn't think in the late 80s that when he was done with coaching, that, oh, I'm going to have a huge impact on college football. He didn't think he was, but he did. He did. He had a humongous impact because, like, everybody's tuning in to see what the headgear pit's going to be. What's going to be this week, Coach? What's it going to be? You going to pit Notre Dame? You going to pit USC or Oregon, Ohio State? Which one? Oh God, Clint Moses. Oh man, time to take
Oh,
so behind the woodshed, old Yellowstone. Oh jeez,
oh, Clint, don't do the legend like that. I mean,
no.
listen, I understand sometimes it has to be done, but let's send him. Let's just put him out the pasture. We don't have to old yeller him. Let's put him out the pasture with the
I
other
thought they were going
people.
to put him out the pasture after Indiana Washington, to tell you the truth, because it was like he didn't look like he was all there when he was talking. Because I mean, I know he had a
Yeah.
stroke several years back, and it impacted his ability to ad lib. So there was
Mhm.
that, and I thought they brought in Pat McAfee to replace him. I thought they brought Saban to replace him. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but we are going to miss Lee Corso. And, there is
Yeah.
no College Game Day without him. And, in like the beginning stages in the 90s, it was just him and Chris Fowler, just at their little ESPN studio. They were hanging out with Tim Brando and Craig James, all them dudes. Then 96, Kirk Herbstreit. I'm going to do this till my football career kicks off again. You know what? Kirk Herbstreit's a legend in College Game Day as well. And one of my two of my favorite moments from Corso are when he told the Georgia dog that it was ugly in 08. And then he put on the big owl head.
Yes.
And when
Yeah.
he hurled the F bomb on SMU Houston 2011, those are memorable moments for me. And
Mhm.
another third moment was when he was like talking about when he was college roommates with Burt Reynolds. When like this was like before Burt Reynolds even was doing guest appearances on Perry Mason and Johnny Ringo and doing that Riverboat show with Darren McGavin and doing Quinn Asper on
Mhm.
Gunsmoke. They were hanging out. They were roommates at Florida State. And Florida State, I mean, they were just beginning as a football school, right? But while they were doing that, Lee Corso, Burt Reynolds were having some good times on Saturday nights and Friday nights. Burt Reynolds got the girls, and Lee Corso got the rides.
Mhm.
Uh,
And B being asked when should Corso have retired earlier? Um, when would have been a good send off for him, Jack? I mean,
I think
because
they
we had
should
that
have
year
done it
with
last
COVID
year.
last year.
I
We had
think
that year
last
with
year,
COVID.
2023, I mean, those last couple years, yes. It's just I
I
felt
mean,
so horrible for him because it's like I didn't. I felt like ESPN was just like propping him up like a little too much. Because I mean, there were like weeks where he was
mhm,
just like off from College Game Day.
mhm.
So that should
Well,
have told me
and
right then and there.
mhm. Well, and I'll say this too, Jackson. Let me ask you something, good buddy. How do you think they're going to end his career? Where do you think they're going to go for game day that week? Are they going to let Corso pick it, or do you think ESPN are they going to give him the privilege of picking his last headgear?
I think they're gonna let him pick his last headgear, honestly, because I mean, there's been so many people calling for, including J.D. Piquel from On3 and Josh Pate, saying, the headgear pick should be the Corso pick. But I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know. But if I had to guess where game day will go for his last trip, it's gonna be Ohio State, Texas. They started the headgear tradition in 1996 when Ohio State played Penn State. And they're going to do it with Ohio State, Texas in week 1. And what is he going to do?
So
he's going to pit the Buckeye headgear. Clint Moses said, would be cool if Big Noon Kickoff did a Corso initial too. And B Bean says Corso he thinks Corso refused to retire and ESPN did not want to force him. Yeah. So of course it did say Corso's alma mater was Florida State. So maybe they could go to Alabama.
They could.
Florida State.
They could go to LSU, Clemson. I mean, do you? I don't. LSU, Clemson. How do we feel about that, Jack? Do you think that's a befitting Lee Corso last headgear pick?
I don't see it. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
If it was in like week 2,
obviously they're not. Tennessee, Syracuse, no. Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, Alabama so far. Keep going down. They ain't gonna do Utah, UCLA. Yada 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 yada. Yada 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 yada. Well, there's Louisville, but we're not playing anybody noteworthy. Keep on going real fast. Is there any other contenders?
Here we go.
Yes, then we got our next caller as well. We love this caller. Not that we don't love all of our callers. Well, we'll leave that to your imagination. And then, of course, Notre Dame, Miami's on a Sunday. So I'm with you, Jack. It's either going to be Florida State, Bama, or it's going to be not Oklahoma, Ohio State, Texas. I can't speak tonight. It's going to be one of them two. He's either going to go to.
Are they going to have Herbert Street take over the headgear pits? That's going to be my question. But I know like they're trying to do like Nick Saban, where it's like they had Nick Saban put on that Penn State mascot last season. I wonder if they're going to start like a new game day tradition where it's like Nick Saban puts on the mascot instead of just like the mascot headgear. They just have Nick Saban put on the mascot costume for the pick.
But B-Bean has alluded to it. Our next caller, he's a very frequent caller. He always calls on a legendary caller, the voice of college football. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the legendary, the one and only, the goat of goats of calling in the sports talk shows. Well, besides you, Jackson, you're the ultimate goat. It is the real MVP. Daryl, how are you? Good butt.
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, Austin. I'm doing well. Hopefully, Jackson, you're doing well as well. It's good seeing you two gentlemen. Obviously, the game Lee Corso is going to go to is Central Connecticut State versus UConn. That's the only correct pick.
That's funny.
Well, that's the case. Eastern Kentucky, Louisville. He coached at Louisville and won some games for us. At least he's going back to his alma mater.
No, but with all seriousness, it's got to be Texas, Ohio State. I mean, just don't overthink it. If Florida State was decent, like had any semblance of life, then I feel like there would be an argument. But I don't see how. I don't think Lee Corso wants his last game and last memory of college game to be, hey, I'm going to see Florida State lose by 50 points. I just don't think that's the case, which is more likely than Florida State actually winning the game, in my opinion, because Alabama is decent. At worst case scenario, they're decent. Florida State's best case scenario, they're 5-7, 6-6 this year. So that game's going to be over within the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. Probably 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, that Alabama-Florida State game. I could be quarterback for that game, and I'd probably be just hand it off every play, and then boom, we win.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on Alabama's quarterback situation.
They got Ty Simpson, who's in that one start against Florida State. I mean, not Florida State, USF. It was a yikes situation for him. So I'm not too confident about Alabama going into this year, but I mean, they're not playing Georgia, Texas. They're not even playing Vanderbilt. They're playing Florida State, which is kind of crazy to say, but Vanderbilt is miles better than Florida State right now in this moment. So yeah, it's going to be Texas, Ohio State. Austin, can we talk NBA playoffs since that's happening? Have you all been watching any of the NBA playoffs? Austin, is your blood pressure doing well, buddy? This is a wellness check. You doing okay? I know you've had two, stress level. I imagine that chart just boom, 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 like 160, 170 BPM. So you doing well?
I'm doing as good as I can, Darrell. The series is tied 1-1. We're going to LA Thursday night. All the confidence in the world. All confidence. Not going to panic. Kawhi Leonard had one of the best playoff performances we've seen in recent memory. I'm not too worried. We cut the mistakes down and we make our free throws. We'll be all right. It's going to be good. Don't worry, Darrell. We're going to get it under control.
You know it's going 7, right?
Murray.
You know it's going 7. I mean, that series has 7 written all over it. It's going 7.
Yes, it's going 7. And then the winner of that is going to be beaten and banged up for the Thunder just to pick off. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, I thought with Ja Morant, they could have some semblance of a challenge against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But when you lose by 51 in your first game, I'm normally one of these let's not overreact to the first game situation. I'm sorry, you lose by 50 in a playoff game, I'm writing you off completely. I don't think you're ever coming back to it. And then they got much better. They only lost by 19 today. So, they're making good progress, but they're nowhere near competitive.
Oh, the Pacers are beating the Bucks 2 games to 9.
Yeah, that was a crazy game today. It was 115-100. The Bucks went on a 13-0 run, and the Pacers responded with it was 120. I think it was 124, 113, or 115 final. They responded with a massive run, hit a few threes. So they're a good team. The Pacers are an excellent offensive team. Their defense is better than last year, but I don't think their defense is still good enough to make any serious noise. I thought with Damian Lillard coming back, they would be more competitive than they were this game. But outside of that last fourth quarter run, I mean, they were down basically 10-20 the whole night. That was surprising to me.
Here's my question. Remind me again why the Bucks hired Doc Rivers as their head coach.
Well, they had some scrub that was the head coach. Not scrub, but some guy, no-name guy. And they had Doc Rivers on the staff as some weird assistant coach or something like that. And he wasn't doing so well, the new coach. So they're like, well, we got Doc Rivers here. So, and he has experience, so we'll just put him in there.
That's a dumb move. I mean, he sucks as a playoff coach.
Right, but you can't blow a 3-1 lead if you don't have it.
I know, right? But still, I don't want coaches that are pissing away games 3 games to 1. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's just terrible. Terrible management.
And I want to say this because I brought this up, but I've got to say this. Darrell, are you a Pistons believer now? Because
I'll be honest, I think this series is going 6 or 7. At first I thought the gap between Cade Cunningham and the Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson was pretty small. But Cade Cunningham is clearly the best player on the floor when he's out there. I still think the Knicks are just deeper. And I think their 5 is better than the Pistons' 5. But this is going 6 or 7, in my opinion. The Pistons are a legitimate team. They're not a joke. I thought they were kind of similar to the Rockets in that they were a regular season team, a nice story. And the Rockets can still make noise and can still go far, but nobody's projecting them to go far. That's why I was believed in the Pistons as well, as they were just a nice story. But no, they can win. It would not shock me now if they won the series against the Knicks. They were very competitive the first two games. That fourth quarter when the Knicks went on a 21-0 run, they scored 3 touchdowns in the middle of a basketball game, really separated the two teams. And I think that was the lack of playoff experience by Cade Cunningham, their head coach, and the rest of the Pistons. They haven't been there since they've been swept. This is actually their first playoff win in, I don't want to say 16 or 17 tries. So they had the longest losing streak in the playoffs in NBA history. So it's nice to get that monkey off their back, and I think that's going to really help them going forward. And also, please, Detroit Pistons Twitter, do not roast me. I see their Twitter account just flaming people, roasting, pulling up receipts saying, well, you got to change your plans. We're not going to get swept, anything like that. So they're having a good time celebrating one win.
Throwing the cart in before the horse.
Well,
that's not always a good move.
Well, and the reason why I brought this back up, Daryl, is because I remember when we talked about this, I even told you, I was like, the Knicks might be in a dogfight with the Pistons. And Daryl, you even thought, okay, they might get one game. And like you mentioned, as you said, you thought the Knicks were head and shoulders above the Pistons. Well, looks like they're not that far apart from one another after 2 games. Now, like you said, it's one win. It could end up, the Knicks could win the next 3 and it could all be over. But I think this is going 6 or 7 like you said. I think
I think this is going 6.
A lot of people wrong.
This has its 6 written all over it. The only 2 series that I'm confident, like I would be surprised if they don't go 7, is the Warriors-Rockets series and the Clippers-Nuggets series. Those are the 2 I'm chalking going 7. Because the Rockets clearly have like the depth. But if Steph Curry does what Steph Curry did in game 1, where he just went absolutely bananas, and he can do that multiple times. That's why he's one of the 10 greatest players of all time. They can win the series, but I don't know if he's able to do that level of Curry still, because he looked like one of the 5 best players in the NBA in that first game against the Rockets.
And hot take, Daryl. Oh, go ahead, Jack.
I feel like we could see that one of the semifinals in the Western Conference be the Lakers Warriors. I don't know why, but I feel like that's coming next.
And it kind of goes my hot take, but I predicted the Timberwolves to beat the Lakers in 6, and I'm sticking with that. But Daryl, what do you think about that? After watching the 2 games that we saw, do you think my pick of the Timberwolves? Do you think it's looking good or looking bad right about now?
Well, you're in a good spot because you got home court advantage. I mean, the Timberwolves went out there and they did their job. They took home court advantage from the Lakers. There hasn't been a close game in that series, so I don't know how the teams are going to respond in a close game. I tell you what, the physicality of the Minnesota Timberwolves have clearly bothered LeBron James. And I think based off the first 2 games, the game plan for the Wolves is Luka's going to get 40 points. He's just going to get 40. We're going to try to hold LeBron James to, around 20, 25 maybe. And then we're going to wash Austin Reeves and everyone out. That way, we can just outwill Luka, tire him out later in the series. He'll be drained. And then we're going to come through as just the unit. I think that's their strategy. It's an interesting strategy. I don't know if it's going to work because Luka took the Mavericks to the finals last year just by himself, basically. But it's worked through the first 2 games. I still like the Lakers because I still believe Luka and LeBron, just those 2, are just so much better than Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert as a 1-2. Like, the gap between those 2 is insane. The 3 between Austin Reeves and I don't even know who the 3 is for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Naz Reid, I guess, is the 3. Jaden McDaniels. Austin Reeves is a better player than Jaden McDaniels. I mean, Jaden McDaniels is a nice player, but Austin Reeves is better.
Here's the thing, Daryl. I would argue that Jaden McDaniels is, I think what he lacks in the offensive department, he makes up with his defense. Whereas Austin Reeves, what he lacks in the defensive department, he makes up with his offense. I think they're about the same player, except I would give Austin Reeves the edge just by that much, due to Austin Reeves being able to shoot the ball a little bit better.
Okay, I mean that's fine. I don't, it's just different preference. That's all it is. Like I value the stretch, especially in today's game. I value stretching the floor a bit more. I saw Clint Moses talking about Steph Curry's defensive, struggles, and he's not the best defender in the world, but when he got like a shooter that much better, he really changes up the offense so much more dramatically compared to who he's playing on defense, that the defensive liability doesn't even really matter that much, because how much more further out you got to go on the court to guard Steph Curry. And I feel similar just about like an Austin Reeves type player who can shoot him much better than Jaden McDaniels. Like, I'm not worried if Jaden McDaniels shoots three. He's a good player. He's a good role player, but he's not great.
And Darrell, you want to know something too? This is what Steph Curry's done to the game. Teams are now guarding players before they even cross half court anymore. In the past, you would never do that. Now they're literally guarding them before they even get crossed half court, because players are now like, oh, I'm going to be like Steph Curry, chuck it up from almost half court. That's what Steph Curry's done to the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's changed the game in ways that nobody expected. And that's why he's... And when you got to talk about the history in the NBA, Steph Curry has to be included in that, because of just how he's one of the 8 or 10 players you have to talk about when talking about NBA history. Wilt, Bill, Larry, Magic, Kareem, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
Bird.
Yeah, Magic, Bird. Yeah, I kind of combine them into one because, it's like peanut butter and jelly. What makes them two so great is their rivalry. But I don't think each one of them on their own would have lived up to the hype, even though they would have won more championships and had success. But the fact those two continuously battled, I felt like it built them both up.
I agree with you, Darrell. And the thing too is, you want to talk about Steph Curry, and people talk about his defensive liability. Here's the thing, like, I agree with you, Darrell. He makes up for it just by what he could do to a defense. Because a defense now, if Steph Curry, he can make a shot falling off back on 1 foot. That's how.
Yeah, there were some shots against those Rockets where you're like, the Rockets played like it would be 100% coverage in NBA 2K and just perfect swoosh. Like some of the shots he does, nobody on planet Earth, I believe, can make except him. Especially in the Olympics against France in the gold medal match where he just went off. He had back-to-back threes against the French national team. He's insane. I mean, he's the best shooter ever to live. There's a reason he's got over 4,000 three-pointers. He's changed the game in such a way that honestly may have hurt the sport in the long term, but that's a different discussion. He's the greatest shooter of all time. It's unarguable. Like, there's not even another person on the list you can even say, even like Ray Allen in his prime. Nowhere near as good as Steph Curry.
I mean, Klay Thompson's got the 3-point record, but overall as a better shot maker, it's Steph Curry.
Yeah, especially what he can do on the ball compared to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's the spot and shoot guy. He doesn't take dribbles. He doesn't create his own shot, and that's fine. He works very well with Steph Curry because of that. But, when evaluating the two, you have to fake,
Well, and the thing, too, is, I'll say this, Darrell, is like you said, but the thing is with the Rockets-Warriors series, normally you would pick the 2 seed 99.9% of the time. But I feel bad for the Rockets because they got a bad hand. Because, like, your draw is you get a team with over 5+ years of championships, like a core that's got so much years of championship experience and playoff experience over 15+ years. Like I kind of feel bad for the Rockets that's the hand they got drawn.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but that's life in the NBA, especially life in the West. I mean, the West is the best for a reason. It's been the best conference for like the last 20 years, and they've had all-time greats in there at all times. So you know what? This is how you get better. And the Rockets weren't projected, I don't think by anybody, projected to win it all or they're just a nice
Mm-mm.
story and they're a nice team. This is going to help them long term, though. I mean, this is going to
Yeah.
help them long term.
Yeah, they're
Shinmue is a great player. I really like his game. I think their acquisitions of Dylan Brooks. I personally am a fan of Dylan Brooks. I know that he's very controversial. I like his antics. I like those type of players, the Patrick Beverley's type players. So I'm just really optimistic about the direction of that franchise going forward, especially after the James Harden era, James Harden and Chris Paul era with Glenn Capella. They've moved in a solid direction.
Yeah, and they were predicted to I think, to finish 8th, 9th in the West this past year, according to ESPN. So they're way ahead of schedule. Anyway, so for them, if they win a series, that's great, even better. But if they lose, they should be like, okay, we're already ahead of schedule, and we lost to a team with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and playoff Jimmy. Like, nothing to be ashamed of.
Right. Do you have any, like, you seemed like every series was going to be pretty competitive going into this, or there wouldn't be hardly any sweeps. Like, I know it's only a game or two that's happened, but I feel like the Thunder, we can just Sharpie them into the next round. I think the Celtics, we can also Sharpie them in. The Cavs, I'm going to pencil them in. I'm not going to Sharpie them in. I respect the Heat culture. I respect Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo. I respect them. But I'm going to pencil them in 4 because they're just, their depth and size and talent has just really showed out in that first game. Like, I thought the Heat was going to take that first game for a bit. They made it pretty competitive for, like, the first half.
Yeah.
But then the Cavs just pull away. So I'm penciling those 3 in 4. Do you have any others, or do you disagree with any of those?
No, I don't disagree, Daryl. I mean, I think the Grizzlies, they're going back to Memphis. They might win a game, but it ain't going to change the outcome. Thunder's going to win the series, even if Memphis finds a way to extend it a little longer. But Celtics, we could Sharpie. I think the Thunder, we could Sharpie. I'm with you. We could pencil the Cavs in, not quite Sharpie, because Heat culture, Spoelstra, Lakers, T-Wolves, that's going to go the distance. Knicks, Pistons, Rockets, Warriors, of course. The Pacers, they would be the only team. Are we ready to pencil them in? Not Sharpie, but pencil them in.
I'm just having a hard time penciling a team against a guy that has the second or third best player in the world. And that's what Giannis is.
Yeah. That's respectable.
If they win this next game, especially since Bucks haven't had a home game yet, if they win, Pacers win the game 3, I'm sharping the Pacers. But if the Bucks win, I think the series could potentially be, one of those where the home team wins 5 or even 6 games in a row.
I feel like for me, I want it to be the Cavs. I want it to be the Thunder, but life's not about how we want things or how we feel. Gotta be realistic. I'm feeling like Luka gets the title in LA.
Oh, Jackson!
I know. I hate it more than you do. I mean, it's like I'm the one that's having to say it, not y'all.
The Lakers fans, they are trolls. Listen,
God,
I get trolled by Lakers fans all the time and I'm like, y'all need to sit down. Like, go sit on your soapbox. The Nuggets, we own you. We own you. Thank you very much. It took Luka to team up with LeBron to get 2 games to beat us.
Well, then ESPN's gonna start. They're gonna have the freaking LeBron GOAT discussion again, so much to the point where they have to hire a new narrator.
I'll say this. I'll let Daryl go next since I went on my little soapbox rant about Lakers fans pissing me off, pardon my language. But go ahead, Daryl.
Austin, you going to choose a few teams, man?
I'm going to let you go first, Daryl.
Okay, I'm going to go with my pick. Yeah, I'm going to go with the same pick I had last week. I'm going Thunder Celtics. I'm going Celtics back to back. I have no reason to change it after watching the first two games, or one or two games of each team. So,
Okay, this may surprise you. And this was controversial. I had Celtics Timberwolves and Celtics in 6.
why are you so high on the
And I
Timberwolves?
see number one, Daryl, they're like that demon in our nightmares. We just can't beat them. And number two, I like Ant's moxie. There's something about that guy that, it seems like for the big games he comes to play. Like it seems like Ant and the T-Wolves are built for this moment. Like I know a lot of people think that last year was a fluke. I just don't think it's a fluke. And I really think they're going to beat the Lakers in this series. Mark my words tonight. They're going to beat the Lakers, and then they're going to beat Golden State or Houston. And then I feel like they're going to beat the Thunder in the conference finals. I really feel like this is the year the T-Wolves, they're going to put it all together. It may be controversial, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally see the Timberwolves even winning this round. But, I've said before, there's about 6 or 7 teams out of the West that wouldn't shock me at all if they won the Western Conference. And, it would surprise me if the Timberwolves won the West. They're in that surprise tier, like the Rockets are in that surprise tier, or the Clippers are in that surprise tier, What would it be, shocking? No, the only team that would be, really is the Grizzlies, because they're the Grizzlies. They got absolutely no chance. That's the only team that would shock me out of the West. In the East, it's pretty simple. If it's anybody not named the Cavs and the Celtics, it would shock me.
So if the Pacers were to win the East, that would shock you, considering they got really close last year?
Yeah, it would shock me because they would have to go through the Cavs and the Celtics to make it there. And I don't think they're good enough to beat both those teams back-to-back series.
Okay. Obviously, like you said, if obviously the Pistons or the Knicks, I mean, they're in a dogfight right now, but is there a world where the Knicks, that would be a shock to you, Daryl? Because they do play pretty scrappy defense.
They can only beat teams below them in the standings. They can't beat the Celtics and Cavs. They just can't do it. They're just not good enough. They know who they are. They do what they do. They beat everybody who they should beat. They lose to everybody they should to. That's who they are. And you know what? There's no problem with that. I mean, for a while, New York was a garbage can. The New York Knicks. I mean, they were a laughing stock. So what Tom Thibodeau has done for the New York Knicks, I think is overlooked because it's New York. They expect this type of things, but he's really turned it around.
Oh, he's been amazing for them.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing too. I'll say this too, because I do have a question for you, Mr. Daryl, about the Chiefs in this draft. I will say this, like you said. I mean, the West. Anybody could come out of the West. The West has always been like that. But I'm with you. I think Celtics Cavs is probably what's going to decide who represents the East. I would tend to agree. I would have said Indiana. I mean, they look really good, but they're playing a Bucks team that not a lot of people. I mean, Giannis is arguably the second best player in the world today. Like, maybe number one, depending on who you ask, but I digress. I mean, I would agree, though, Daryl. No, with your point, though.
That's good. What are you going to ask me about what is it, back-to-back Super Bowl appearance, Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, this is the worst part of the NFL season for me is because, we talk about teams that don't matter, like the Giants, the Titans, the Jets. We talk about a bunch of trash cans. But, the actual good teams we don't talk about until 2 hours in. Got to stay up forever to watch it. And then it just moves on. It's like, oh, this team's doing this. It's like, no, man. It's always the Chiefs. Everybody is gunning for the Chiefs. What the Chiefs are gunning. I know Philadelphia wanted they got a Mickey Mouse title. And that's nice for them. But it's one title. I mean, why even win one title? Dynasties is what people remember, when people care about.
So what's a Mickey Mouse title exactly? And will there be a title that's ever going to be considered a Donald Duck title?
Oh gosh.
I think you don't know what the term Mickey Mouse title. A Mickey Mouse title means it's like a participation trophy from the way I use it. It's like not really earned. It was kind of given. And the way it was kind of not given to them is they were in the garbage can known as the NFC East. I mean, when the Washington Commanders are the second best team in your division, you know there's problems. A rookie quarterback comes in there and dominates. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, we want to talk about a complete disaster and a joke franchise they are. And then you got the New York Giants, who was just too free. That's better than a bye game. I mean, seriously.
Listen here, Darrell. Listen, you can talk a lot of things. You talk smack about Louisville and you talk smack about my Nuggets. But we're going to draw a line here at the Cowboys, okay? We're a proud, rich franchise with 5 Super Bowls.
You are rich. You got a lot of money. I'll give you that. You got a lot of money. You are rich.
Yes, we're a proud, rich franchise. Even though Jerry Jones is an old, decrepit son of a gun sometimes that doesn't know what he's doing, we won 5 Super Bowls. So, as far as I can see it, Darrell, we've earned some leeway. Like, we let the Eagles think that they run the division, but it's going to be all good. We're going to get it back. Dak Prescott's going to get us winning again. Before you know it, Darrell, we're going to be winning Super Bowls just like the Chiefs.
That's never going to happen. As long as Jerry Jones is alive, there's never going to be a Super Bowl for Dallas.
Jackson.
It's just not happening.
Listen, Jack, let me have some hope, okay? I don't got any hope anywhere else. Like, let me think the Cowboys are going to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, okay? Because we all know Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. We all know that.
That may be the dumbest thing that's ever been said on this show.
Yeah, I didn't even believe it when I said it.
Just glad. I'm just glad Dan the Diesel Man wasn't there to hear it. Or right, Diesel Free. I keep getting those names mixed up. He's probably gonna call himself the Wolverine Snatcher in November.
Oh gosh, don't bring that back. Yeah, Darrell, I didn't even believe that when I said that. Patrick Mahomes is the undisputed number 1 quarterback in the NFL. Like that is over exaggeration. But anyway, back to your Chiefs. What I was going to ask you, Darrell, is there anybody in particular you want in the NFL draft?
Not really. Honestly, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm neither a beggar or a chooser in this situation. I just trust in the Chiefs. I trust in the kingdom, their process. I just want somebody that's a tackle or somebody that can move quick. You know, that's all the Chiefs do. Hey, this guy's really quick. Oh, we'll draft him. Oh, this guy is a tackle, and we need a tackle. Oh, we'll take him, and he turns out to be elite. You know, just trust in the Chiefs. They know what they're doing up there. They got one of the best front offices in the entire NFL. You know, we got one of the best coaching staffs, so we'll develop some guy into an absolute beast. It's nice. I mean, I feel like we can choose anybody, and it usually goes in the right direction for the back-to-back AFC Championship appearance team. So, you know, I can't really complain. We'll do something. Maybe we'll make a trade and get up there and be talked about as if we're something interesting. But let's be honest. If the Chiefs do something, it's not going to be impactful because when you're that good, the draft really doesn't matter. Now, I heard a float out there on TV. I don't know if Hummus is still here, that the Bengals, they should trade for the number 2 overall pick and get Travis Hunter because they need defensive players. I think that's an interesting idea that was floated out there. I saw on First Things First today. The Ravens could get him as well.
From Nick Wright on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah. I think those are some interesting ideas for not an actual great team like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles, teams that win. But, these second-tier teams that think they can win but really can't win, I think it'd be interesting for one of those teams to draft up pretty high and get somebody. Because I saw Cleveland and the Giants are thinking about trading down, which is probably smart because they don't need just one or two picks. They need like a whole new roster, basically.
Mhm.
Cleveland just need time to pass. They just need to hit. Cleveland's problem is they signed the worst contract in the history of sports in Deshaun Watson. They just need to hit the fast forward button 3 years, and then they'll be great. They got a chance. The Giants, they just need everything. Like, they need literally everything new.
Well, and I want to bring this up to you, Daryl, because as we're talking about the Chiefs, so according to Vegas's odds right now, the Chiefs are currently favored to get 12.5 wins. So I'm going to ask you first, Jackson. Would you take the over or under on that? 12.5 for the Chiefs win total.
Oh, I'm going over.
Okay. What about you, Daryl? 12.5 for the Chiefs. Over or under?
I know what the answer is.
Well, I think you all cut out on me just a moment, but I'm currently pulling up the best team in the entire NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. They won 15. Okay, so they won 12's about right, it seems like, what they normally do, but I just think, the Chiefs will have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL, like they usually do. They'll probably have to go to Philadelphia, I'm assuming, as the first game. They like doing that type of thing where they have like the rematch of the Super Bowl or two high-powered teams playing against one another. So obviously, with all that being said, the Chiefs are going to go over. I mean, it's the Chiefs. They got Patrick Mahomes. Just go over with the Chiefs on everything because they're the Chiefs. There's some things you just don't do in life. You just don't doubt against Michael Jackson in a singing competition. Okay, you just don't do that. You don't doubt Vince Carter in the dunking competition, okay? And you don't doubt against Patrick, the GOAT Mahomes, when it comes to winning NFL games.
Okay. So we got your answer. I would agree. I'm gonna go over. I think Chiefs get 13. I think they'll lose. They'll win a couple, games that the odds makers will have them not as favorites, and then they'll maybe lose one or two, maybe like the last one of the regular season again, and then we'll have to hear the whole facade of the Chiefs are tanking, which Daryl, I never heard so many Bengals fans complaining and crying on my timeline in history after you all lost to the Broncos. They were
Hummus came in and called one time saying, "Well, we would have beat you all if we made the playoffs." I'm like, bro, you would have had to face Buffalo in the first round. They couldn't even beat the Denver Broncos in regulation in a must-win game, in a literal must-win game for each of those teams. They couldn't even do it in regulation. They had to go to overtime to beat the Denver Broncos. What on earth makes them think they were going to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo and then beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead? I mean, listen. I mean, Bengals fans, I guess they're not used to success. They're not used to success. So they don't understand how this whole process works. Listen, they're not good enough. They're just not good enough. What they're doing isn't going to work. They re-signed T. Higgins. They re-signed Jamari Chase. They're doing the exact same thing they did last year. That didn't work. They need a defense. Like, any semblance of a defense, and they would be pretty good. They would still be in that Baltimore tier or the Washington/Detroit tier as well now, where, they're consistently good. Well, not Washington. We'll put Detroit and Ravens on the tier where they're in the Houston Texans. They're consistently good and they can make moves, but they're not really good enough to beat the champs. That's where Cincinnati is. They're just not good enough. I know they beat Kansas City one time in one playoff game like 4 years ago now. But, I mean, come on. Everybody eventually, if you do something long enough, just by happenstance, you're going to do the right thing. And that's what happened. It's usually the same outcome. They go to Arrowhead, they lose by 3 points. Every single time it feels like, except for that one time it didn't happen, they lose by 3.
Yeah, I agree. And while we've got Daryl here, I'm going to talk some college hoops with you guys as well. Because let's check in on the transfer portal.
Hmm.
So there's some interesting moves that have happened today. Obviously, Travis Perry is transferring out of Kentucky. No shock. Who would want to play for that school anyway? But in all seriousness, I mean, what do you think of that move, Dario? Like it, dislike it?
I mean, I hate to see whenever UK players leave, but I have faith in Mark Pope and bringing a good team together. Apparently, we're spending the most amount of money in basketball on NIL, which doesn't surprise me at all. We're a basketball school. I know some people on Kentucky Twitter is complaining about the basketball team and how roster is. We don't have any elite players. Listen, we're going to be fine. We got the Pope. We have hope in the Pope, everybody. It'll be fine. We're not going to be like John Calipari and have 18 5-stars only to lose to Southeastern Illinois State in the first round and get upset by some guy nobody's heard of, and then he becomes the number one player of college basketball. That's not going to happen. We're not going to have the best roster. We'll have around, in my opinion, we should have around the 10th best roster in the country, go into a season, develop our talent, and then just outplay to the best of our ability, and that's how we'll win a championship. Neither of those UConn rosters were uber talented when they won it all. No, nobody was expecting either of those teams just to be like juggernauts. I mean, they weren't like, oh my gosh, they got 10 5-stars like what Duke and Carolina, Kansas always do. So I hope we take the UConn now. Be a little bit lower in the pack, but still be good, be great. I would like to get a who's that guy? PJ Hagway, the Memphis guard.
PJ Hagway.
I saw a lot of Memphis. He's really
good. And I'll say this too, this is kind of hot today. Boogie Flan's in the transfer portal. Where do we see him potentially landing? Could we see him?
I have no idea. I'm not recruiting people. I can't follow this stuff. I didn't care to follow the stuff beforehand, to be honest with you. I just find it funny because Arkansas fans were like, he's a great player, then he got hurt, and then he was all of a sudden a great player again. And he is a good player. I think he's a bit overrated. He's pretty athletic. You can tell he's pretty raw. He just hasn't really crystallized his full potential yet. And it's just funny to see John Calipari lose a great player. Listen, I'm always going to be actively rooting against that man, so this is good. Good news for us.
There you go.
Julian Reese, Angel Reese's brother, transferring from Maryland, which is no surprise. If I had to guess, he'll probably be going to Villanova to join his former head coach, if I had to guess.
Oh, you're going to skip over Malachi Davis from the Long Island Sharks?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Completely disrespectful for the Long Island Sharks there, Austin.
I'm sorry, Daryl. I didn't recognize their game. I mean, my apologies.
You should never disrespect the Sharks, man. They got one of the coolest logos and names in all of college basketball with the Sharks.
Good Lord.
There he goes. I skipped over LaSalle, Delaware, Tulsa. Look at all these elite institutions Austin's skipping over, man.
Yep, totally. Sam Walters going from Michigan to SMU. Bobby Pedford from High Point.
I thought High Point was going to win a game in the tournament, but man, they weren't even really competitive against Purdue.
Cliff Davis. Noah Williams. Cam Hayes from ECU.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Austin. I really just can't follow this stuff because of how much movement there are, how much players, well, I need this amount of money. Well, the school's offering me this amount of money, so I'm going there and say it's all too confusing. Like Nico Amalevi's brother, who went to transferred out, then transferred to UCLA, and then transferred to one school, transferred to another school, and then transferring to UCLA. It's I just don't even care to follow stuff. Or just tell me who's on the team when the season starts, and I'm all good. That's where I'm at with it.
Nico's dad is like one of those pageant moms. So it's like, oh man, he's just nuts.
Yeah, I don't know how people follow recruiting. I know Lee Harrington does a good job with it. I don't know how anybody can do it because it's all you need like one of those charts, that conspiracy theorist meme guy has with all the pictures and all the lines going to places. That's what you need in order to follow this stuff nowadays. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, I know, like me, I've been making sure I'm covering recruiting and transfer portal for Alabama The Voice College Football, where it's like we got this young man, Brody Dalton from Troy. We're hoping to get him, but no, North Carolina's looking to get him. I mean, it's like, come on. You can do better in North Carolina. Stay home at Bama with the Crimson Tide. We need tight ends, and we need you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'll say this too, Daryl. I'm with you. Like, I keep up with it, but I'm not like knee deep into it like some people are. Like, I just found out today, like Cason Pryor, he's coming back to Louisville next year, coming off injury. I know
you
there was
mean
rumors
Machine
that
Gun
he
Kelly?
would enter. No. Cason Pryor.
He looks exactly
Not
like
Machine Gun.
Machine Gun Kelly. He looks exactly like him.
If we had the technology, we would do a side by side. But I mean,
I was gonna ask everybody this question. What do you think about this stuff going on with Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, I'm just going to let that whole situation play out. That seems like a complete mess. I mean, that's just. I don't know any of the. I haven't even been following any of it. I've just heard the accusation. I'm just going to let that play out. That's its own mess. That sounds like a lot of drama between a lot of people, and I'm not sure who's right, who's wrong. I've paid no attention to it. All I know is about the accusation. Obviously, if the accusation is true, it's reprehensible, disgusting, immoral, and he probably should be in jail. If she's lying about it, that's reprehensible, immoral, disgusting, and she probably should belong in jail. So I'm just going to let that whole thing play out. That's my situation.
That's
my
fair.
thoughts on it.
Oh, and we heard about, and it was funny though, because I saw a little bit of Barstool Sports today where Dave Portnoy had his episode. It was the Barstool Rundown, I think. And he was talking with his friends, talking about his episode on Club Shay Shay, where he made an appearance on there. But he was like, oh, they're not showing it. And he got on his little high horse about it, which, I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't be mad, but it's just like, good grief. Come on, man. But there was an update that he's going to be, that the episode will release on May 14th. So,
yeah, that's drama and stuff that I just don't care about. Like, honestly, I don't care about internet drama or celebrity drama. I got more important problems than dealing with that nonsense.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing too. I'm like you, Daryl. It's just like, if any of it is true, it's morally wrong, and I believe in a higher power, and I believe he'll have to answer to him one day. But yeah. I'm just gonna let it play out. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, to say the least. So I'm with you, Daryl. I'm just gonna let it play out. It's one of them things you just let it play out. But like you said though, Jack, I'll say this though. Like, I hope Shannon Sharp, hope him well. Like, love him on ESPN and First Take was one of my favorite things to watch in the mornings. I mean, of what I could, because watching Colin Cowherd and him get a little obnoxious. But like, I'm with you, Daryl. We're just gonna let it play out, and whatever happens, happens.
Oh, and there's this little thing that I heard, and any of you heard of this YouTube channel called Jubilee?
No.
Yeah, they do like debates and stuff. I saw they had a 25 versus 1 with Skip Bayless in 25.
Yeah, that's the one. Because it was like, usually they had like Michael Knowles on one video, and next video they had on Sam Cedar, and now they got like Skip Bayless. Like, I thought that was pretty cool, and there were like a lot of people saying, "Oh, Skip Bayless found his Nets calling." Well, I'll say this: He's probably going to stick with the YouTube because TV career is kaput.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old man. He's already. I mean, Fox Sports and ESPN are the only real two sports options nowadays for television. So I think that was already the case. I haven't seen the episode, but I think that was already predetermined before he went on when he left Fox Sports 1. I just, again, it's just something like we all know who Skip Bayless is. He's, in my opinion, a shock jock. I don't think he really believes most of the things he says, like with LeBron James or the Dallas Cowboys. Like a lot of that, I think, is played up for television or played up for his audience.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's. Yeah, we'll wait and see how that plays out. But, yeah, I'm just ready for the college football season to start.
I am
And
too.
I am
Did you all
too.
see the report today that I talked to Mark about that concerned me? That
Yes. I caught a little bit of that before I was doing some behind the scenes work. I caught a little bit of your call today where you talked about TV ratings possibly being a determining factor as to whether who gets in the playoffs. But I feel like
Oh
that's
my
just
God.
something to test the waters. Like, if the audience and the fans react well to it, we'll add that. If they don't react well to it, we'll just put it on the shelf for right now, and then we'll just put it in when no one's looking.
yeah, I saw Troy V mention basically that exact
Yeah.
same theory, and I pray and hope that's true. Listen, if they do it, it ruins the sport. I think it's honestly even calls into question if you can call college football a sport at that point. It's the dumbest idea I think I've ever heard. It literally makes it to where competition, in some aspect, doesn't matter on the field. Teams like Austin's team, my team, has systemic disadvantages. Like even the pro playoff expansion people that see no problem expanding it to 16. Like I believe our friend Sean Garner, for example. I don't think he has any problem expanding it to 16 or any of the issues I've brought up. I'd like to see his type of reaction because I don't see how any worldview at all thinks this is a good idea. Hey, you know,
I don't think
Florida State
anybody.
went 2-10 last year, but because of their television numbers, there actually should be like a 7-5 team. It's like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. You know, Alabama, their tiebreaker against SMU, it's not anything they did on the field. It's the fact Alabama's got a better TV audience. Like, listen, who cares? I don't. I want to see the best teams play in the playoffs. I don't think this should be hard to explain. If Boston College, for whatever reason, goes 11-1 and beat legitimately good teams and belongs in the college football playoff, then guess what? They should be in. But under this format, there is a chance that that team could be left out. Now, it doesn't say in the article. Now, I don't have ESPN Plus, so I didn't read the article. I saw the awful announcings article about what Heather Dinich wrote. I'm not paying $5 for an ESPN Plus subscription. That's silly.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'll take one for the team on that.
I got you, but it's just like somebody came up with this idea, and as Mark said, that just hates, like, doesn't value the sport. Because that's the only way you get to the solution. Like Austin's team, legitimately this year, could be second in the ACC at 10-2, and they missed the playoffs because 9-3 Ohio State has 4 million more television numbers under this model. I mean, if that's the case, I'm right there. I'm going to be staying side by side with Austin saying this is crap.
I believe this is the one you're talking about, Darrell, the one from Heather Dinich, College Football Playoff Buzz, 5 topics on the table this week.
Yeah, I believe that's the article. Now, it's paywalled off at a certain point, so I wasn't able to read it. There was one paragraph. Yeah, it's that paragraph right there. One possibility, that one.
Here we go.
No, the one below it. The one below it. Like, I'd love to know who the source is that thinks TV ratings is a good idea to determine playoff spots. Like,
if that's the, not to cut you off the real, but if they think this is a good idea, then we might as well just make this the SEC Big Ten Invitational.
Well, this was a worse idea than whoever scripted the end of the WWE WrestleMania. Like, this is a complete joke. There is literally nothing good about this idea. This idea has no value to society. This is like the flat Earth idea. Like I told Mark Rogers, this is such a dumb thing that I have a hard time explaining in words how dumb it is. Like, I feel like all the arguments against this idea is just so obvious it shouldn't be stated, but apparently it does need to be stated. Hey, a 6-6 Alabama team does not belong in the playoffs because they have a 500 record. They have lost to bad teams because they are 6-6. Mathematically, that has to be the case because they're not playing every top 6 team in the country. There's no reason for anybody outside of like 10 schools to watch college football. Maybe 15 at the most. And we can just keep going on and on. Like, oh man, if this is close games, how much of a factor is this going to be weighted? Man, if Alabama was SMU this year, they're in. But it's Clemson against SMU, and they've got 2 million less viewers, but they're still outdrawing SMU by 2 million. I guess they're on the bubble. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Austin, please tell me I'm not crazy.
Here's the thing,
please tell me this feels like a psychotic episode where you're just seeing a bunch of numbers and stuff on the wall, and you got a crazy person just writing everything, and you're like, how does this make any sense? That's what it feels like. I'm looking at when reading that paragraph.
Daryl, this feels like, you mentioned WrestleMania. This feels like what the Rock was doing to the main event of WrestleMania when everyone was expecting him to show up and he didn't. This is what this feels like, of them just these big brain heads thinking, oh, how can we make this sport better? We hear you all upset with this new format. Let's do it by TV ratings. That'll fix it. No, that's just going to make it worse. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like a big head honcho's not watching the product, and it's like, okay, let's do TV ratings.
It feels like the executives, they're just not spending all day watching college football. I don't feel like they're doing that, and it shows too by even suggesting something like that. And they're not reading the room from viewers in the Southeast or the Southwest or in the Midwest or the West Coast. They're not. They're obviously not doing that.
Yeah, you're not crazy, Daryl. We're with you. Like, whoever thought of this, I would like to know what they're thinking and what they're getting paid. Would be my question. Like, who's paying to say this?
Like, Joe Klatt is somebody who's been a complete homer for everything college football has done. Even in his YouTube intros, he says college football is entering a golden age, which I almost couldn't disagree with it more. I mean, I can because this came out today, so I obviously have to read some room for the insane. But I would like to see even his reaction, because somebody who just completely buys into the 12th team playoff is the best thing that's happened to the sport since, the forward pass, those type of people. I don't think they can even defend this as a step. Like, why even have games at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Why even play games?
Mm-hmm.
The games themselves don't matter. Alabama should play Ohio State, get 17 or 16 million viewers, play Central Connecticut State for the rest of the year, and then boom, they're in.
Yep. Whereas teams like us, Daryl, Kentucky, and Louisville will be struggling to get 8 million views if we're lucky.
Essos, I understand why the TV producer wants to do it. My point is when you delegitimize a sport so much to where it's not even a sport anymore, you're going to lose everybody. Mm-hmm. Because people want to see their sports team be the best by winning on the field.
Yes.
Listen, there's some products out there like the WWE who can get away with being fake because everybody knows it's a fake and it's like an opera and a spectacle. And everybody understands that and appreciates it, and that's fine.
Yeah, they hate each other on air, but they're BFFs off air.
Right. People can get invested in this. But this is actual sporting events. this is actual real sporting event in which there's some drama. But if it feels contrived and manipulated and all set up, there's going to be tons of fans, even your average fan that's going to sniff on this and it'd be like, oh, who cares? Like the playoffs, in my opinion, would be hurt the most under this format, ironically, because you're going to see the same teams every single year. You're going to see the same 12 or 15 teams literally every year. And that's going to get so boring and so old so quick.
Well, and not to cut you off, Daryl, but I'm glad you brought that up. Like, here's the thing. Like you said, Daryl, with some things like that, you can get away with it. Like professional wrestling, that it's meant to do that. You're supposed to pit the two best and be like, here, we're going to tell you a story. That's how we get there. College football is a sports sport. You're supposed to win the games. There's supposed to be no stories, no nothing. That's what it would almost seem like. Ohio State, Alabama, let's build to them. Everyone else take a dive. Like, that's what that would feel like. I agree with you. And that's not good.
It's the reason they're great stories is because it's real. That's what makes them great stories.
Yes.
The 2014 Ohio State team that was number 4 in the country that went on to win the national championship. That was a great story because it was a real, it was real. If it's contrived because they got in because of their TV rating, it's like, yeah, they won the games on the field, but I mean, this other team had just as equal valid an argument, maybe even a better one. I mean, poor TCU. That 2022 TCU team, they wouldn't have gotten in probably under this format. Tennessee and Alabama would have probably, either one of them would have gotten in.
Yeah.
It's just so disappointing and heartbreaking to see that this is the direction. Like I thought the 12-team playoff was going to be a disaster. And I feel like I've been proven my concerns have been validated over the first year. But I didn't even expect this direction, just the brazenness to say you're not even a sport anymore. It's just an insult to every fan. Like their history, the tradition, the pageantry, none of that matters. None of it.
Well, and the thing too is, Daryl, with college football, it's about tickets, merchandise, all that, right? They want you to buy it, cool. But if people keep thinking that you're rigging the games or using certain metrics that aren't right, they're going to be like you said, they're going to walk away from it. Like, as much as I don't like to say it, they're going to walk away. And like you said, Daryl, if someone wants that kind of thing, they'll go watch the WWE or go watch All Elite Wrestling on the other channel for that.
The only other sport I can compare it to is like NASCAR, where it's a legitimate competition, but it's so heavily manufactured. It's kind of in between entertainment product and a sport. And that's where the direction we're going with it. And it's like, oh, this is Jackson, you haven't really said anything. Are you for this idea? Are you against this idea? Do you think I should be as worried as I am?
The TV ratings idea is really dumb. It's like, that's not what college football's about. I mean, I just gotta let you two take the floor on that one. I'm just kind of playing Silent Bob for a bit.
Well, and the thing too is, Daryl, not to cut you off. See, and I'm not saying Jackson would be for it anyway, but like Jackson would love this idea because guess what? Bama would be in every single year. It's people like us, Daryl, that would be against it the most because our teams would never have a chance to begin with. We could go undefeated and win our conferences, but they would still say, but you don't have more ratings than Clemson or Alabama. Like Jackson's fan base would be more about it than ours would.
Yeah, because it's just the whole, you should get in because everybody watched in Knoxville, Tennessee, or Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Los Angeles, California. No. That's not how it should be. No. Got the best wins, the best records. That's what matters.
Yeah, and these are things that feels like
doesn't seem like
that are so obvious that should be said. Like these feel like very obvious points that literally anybody that understands basic mathematics or basic competition should understand, but evidently not.
Nope. And this thing too, and last thing I'll say is like the real what helps you all is if y'all schedule Alabama and the Georgias of the world, that'll would be helps you within the SEC. So Kentucky has more of a fighting chance than say Louisville would. That's where I think the argument for the smaller teams could come in handy if you play in the SEC or the Big Ten. But like if you're the ACC Big 12, you're essentially screwed because
Yeah.
TV
If you want
ratings.
to talk about who this helps and who this hurts, I completely agree with you. But I don't even feel like we should have that conversation because it feels like we're validating stupidity by just having the conversation. We should just reject the premise entirely. This is a bad idea. This is a dumb idea. This is an idea that will kill the sport. Listen, if this idea is
Yes.
implemented, I'm not watching the playoff games. I want to see the best teams play in the playoff. Sorry, I'm not watching an 8-4 team play a 12-0 team or an 11-1 team. They're not doing that out of principle. I like watching sport because of competition. I don't like watching gimmicks, and that's what this is, a gimmick.
Like you said, Daryl, if we wanted that, we would go watch sports entertainment on the other channel if that's what we wanted. And that's the thing too. Like, and I'll say this and then we'll put it to bed. Like you said, Daryl, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. Like, Daryl, you shouldn't have even had to bring this up on air to me and Jackson or Mark for that matter. That should have never been an idea. But the fact that we've got big corporate buttheads who think TV ratings is all that matters is exactly what's wrong.
I'll tell you
Like,
this.
people think,
I'll tell you who else you should bring it up to. Make sure this issue kind of goes away as a whole. Bring it up on the Feinbaum show. Like,
I mean,
I'll be honest, he's missing out on hearing from you, Daryl.
Who's missing out from hearing from me? Sorry, it cut out.
I said Feinbaum's missing out from hearing from you because I think you should definitely bring up this point, like as well on the Feinbaum show. Like, bring it up on any call-in show that you find. Just kind.
I mean, I may do it. I feel like I'm shocked if nobody's already brought it up because this is such a. It's one of it's the off season. There's not a whole lot to talk about in the off season, to be frankly and honest with you. And I know they're meeting in Dallas next week, and all I'm hoping is please don't let this be implemented. Please don't let this be implemented. That's the only thing I can keep thinking of. But I don't have the power to make the decision. I just hope as fans, if everybody just says, no, this is a bad idea, that'll have some sway. That's all I'm hoping for. Even this is just a trial balloon, like Jackson says. Well, we got, say no. Let them know. It's universally, this is a horrible idea. We can't be like meh on it. We can't be like, it's kind of bad. No, just complete outright rejection. That's the only direction this can go.
Yeah. Like call on Feinbaum, call on Coos, call on comment on any podcast, any show, any channel that you can find. And call in, just kind of spread word, like, hey, there's a bad move. I think a lot of us can do that, and that issue will be put to bed.
I hope so, because I know they're meeting next week, and I don't have a lot of faith in them based off the direction they're going. Like they can't even get the seating sorted out right, and which is obviously the most obvious decision in the world, that the seating's messed up. I don't care that Arizona State won the Big 12. I know some people like Mark does. Sorry, your conference is terrible. Nobody cares. Like, you're not good. Your entire conference is terrible. Arizona State almost lost to Texas State last year, for goodness. Not Texas, not Texas Tech, not Texas A&M, not TCU. They almost lost to Texas State. And they got a bye.
Yep.
Sorry, that team shouldn't get a bye. That team's not good enough to get a bye. There's like 50 teams, 60 teams out there that could easily beat Texas State, in my opinion. If you can't do that, you're not good enough to get a bye. This is another one of those points that feels like it's so obvious that shouldn't even need to be explained, but apparently it is.
Boise State, Daryl, another good example. A lot of people were arguing why did they get a bye, and it was because of that Oregon game. It held so much merit. But Boise State had a couple stinkers in there too that they should have.
Yeah, I
They
know.
should have
Everybody
counted
brought
against.
up the fact, well, they only lost to Oregon by 3 or 1 or whatever. I'm like, bro, did you see their game against Wyoming? Wyoming, that was 2-10. They almost lost to Wyoming. Like,
Georgia
I don't think
Southern, that
anybody
was
watched Boise State outside of week 1. They almost lost to UNLV the first time they played. They had plenty of North Texas, I think, was another one that was a close game. They had plenty of close wins in there. And if you're barely beating these bad football teams, bad in terms of the whole spectrum, but in G5 they're actually kind of decent. But bad football teams, you do not belong in the playoffs. You definitely don't deserve a bye, but definitely you don't belong in the playoffs because your schedule isn't good enough. And you know what, Boise, you had your chance. You played the number 1 team in the country. You lost to them. You want to get in the playoffs? Beat them. You proved nothing. Or schedule somebody else in the G or the Power 4 that's decent, and then we can use as a measuring stick outside of Oregon. These teams just need to prove themselves. Teams need to prove themselves that they belong in the playoffs. Indiana losing to Ohio State by around 20 points doesn't prove that they belong in the playoffs. Beating a 7-5 Michigan team, I don't understand in what world that proves Indiana belongs in the playoffs. SMU losing to Clemson, a team that seeding-wise wasn't good enough to be in the playoffs, but only got in the playoffs because they won the ACC, doesn't prove SMU belongs in the playoffs. These are things that I feel like are self-explanatory, but for some reason just get lost on the average person because we got to do complicated mathematical formulas. You know what I'd like? Did you beat good teams? Are you capable to win it all? Your losses. How many losses do you have? Why did you lose those games? How did you lose those games? Where did you lose those games at? Those type of things. I think people outthink themselves way too often in this situation. Well, we got to look at all these metrics that specify certain situation to make an evil playing field. No. Don't do that. Alabama, for example, they beat Georgia, the number 2 team in the country. Does that matter? Apparently not.
Not in the
because they got
not in the committee's eyes.
Right, because we got a team over here in Indiana that was able to beat on Oklahoma level teams. That team belongs in the playoff over a team that beat the number 2 team in the country. It don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I understand people will say, well, Alabama was 9-3 and Indiana's 11-1. Sorry, don't care. When your conference has 20, 18, 16 teams in there, you are not determined by what your record is. Anyway, thank you all for letting me get that off my chest because these things I feel like are just so obvious.
There you go.
I agree with you, Daryl. Like simple things like that shouldn't have to be said. You shouldn't have to be speaking that at the top of the mountain. But here we are, and I agree with you. Indiana beating up on teams like putting 66 up on Purdue, and that's supposed to impress. Good, you beat Purdue. Like, come on. Listen, now, the only argument I have against Alabama is the good they did against Georgia. They undid it when they lost to Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. Other than that, there's no reason why they should have been left out.
Yeah. Well, anything else you got for us tonight, good buddy?
No. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on X.com. I'll be tweeting about the playoffs and college baseball. Wild sport. McNeese lost to a school in NAIA division today, which is like, how does that even happen? You don't even lose to a D1, D2, or D3 school. You lose to an NAIA school. Disaster.
Yeah, that was bad.
Louisville lost to Kentucky in baseball. I mean, not shocking, but, funny.
Yo, you had to bring that up. Yeah, we were getting along just fine, and you had to bring that up, Daryl. Jackson? Listen here. If Daryl keeps making fun of Louisville, we're going to have to do something about that.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one that I saw that happened today. Northwestern State beat LSU.
Oh.
That doesn't even seem like a school that even exists. That I just make up on the top of my head. Northwestern State.
I watched that game, too.
Oh, sorry. Good grief. Okay, it's really late apparently.
Yeah, so anyway, I'll be liking post about that, maybe replying to them, but just following along the college baseball season, tweeting about college basketball or college football or the NBA playoffs. NHL playoffs also happening now.
Month of May's coming soon. About to get those preseason magazines.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's going. It's like my little theme for the summer.
Yeah, Darrell Vanderbilt lost to Middle Tennessee too. Didn't know if you saw that or not.
No, I didn't see that, but college baseball. What I love about it is just how many upset there are. Like Oral Roberts made the World Series a few years ago. Like Oral Roberts, like that's such an awesome story.
They beat Oklahoma today.
Yeah, I know they lost to UTSA, was it, or Dallas Baptist, something like that. One of those acronym schools they lost.
Portland beat Oregon, which I thought that was kind of funny, but I digress. Yeah. Penn State beat West Virginia. Yeah, 17-5 against. Yeah, they basically had a mercy rule for that game, but we didn't talk about
basically it was a mercy rule. Yeah, and we thought the series 1-1. You all beat us. It's fair. You beat us in Louisville. We beat you in Lexington. It's all squared up. They're probably going to have it to where based on the bracket. I don't know if you all will be a 2 seed or a 3 seed, but one of us will have to play Western Kentucky as a 3 seed, most likely. I'm not sure if you've seen any Western Kentucky baseball. They're legit one of the best teams that are in the group of 5 this year. They've got the best ERA in the country. They're like 34-7 now. It's insane how good they are.
Yes. I've watched a couple Western games. I've been to a couple Western games this year. They're really good.
Yeah, I don't think they can host or anything like that. And they might be able to get to a 2 seed, but the Conference USA outside of Dallas Baptist and Liberty's okay, but outside of those 2 teams, it's just complete garbage.
Yeah, like dung heap. But anywho, before Jackson kicks us both off the air, talking about college baseball.
Anyway, guys, good seeing you all. I'm sure Jackson's posted my X-Link a million times like he always does because he's such a polite gentleman. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next week when I'm sure Austin's Nuggets are going to be in a best of 2 or 1 series.
Clippers probably blow it somehow. We'll be seeing you, good buddy. And now it's us. And we'll be heading in a little bit, but not before we tell what we got going on this week.
Yes. And Jackson, as people are going to sleep tonight, they need to go to sleep knowing that Alabama at the voice of college football is covered. College football's around the corner. College baseball's happening. You'll cover that if people want to hear that. And college basketball too, of course. And there's only one place, only one site, only one YouTube channel you can get that from. It's the greatest YouTube channel going today, and it's hosted by the greatest friend I've ever had. My good buddy, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jackson Johnson, and of course Johnny Burks and Jeffrey. Love them guys too, but Jackson is the superstar of this channel. Jackson, what have you got going on this channel? Let the people in.
Monday night, Johnny, Jeffrey, and I talked a little bit about our take on whether Brody Dalton could transfer from Troy to Alabama. We also went over some recruiting updates. We talked a little bit about the NFL draft and the draft eligible Alabama players, and can our first round streak continue? That's going to be a question. Does Nick Saban decide, do I want to return to coaching? That's something he'll have to decide at some point, but I think Miss Terry's going to say no to that. But also, you can check out the Alabama Crimson Tide live call-in show where Jeffrey and I take your calls, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we go over our take. Oop, you pressed the wrong button, good, but yeah. Yeah, this StreamYard thing's taking a minute. But you can check out the next edition of the Alabama Call-In Show, where we go over as to whether the first round streak continues for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And of course, I've got my next episode, The Jacksonian, where I will be filming with Parker Ainsworth, the host of Locked On Cougs. We'll be going over our take on Houston basketball, Houston football, and much, much more. And for more updates on what I've got going on Jackson Johnson 97, which, by the way, thank you for getting me out of that bad luck. Whoever is my latest sub on on this channel, thank you so much for getting me out of that bad luck number. Now I'm getting closer to 1,000 subs, and it's all because of people like yourself, all of you in the chat, all of you watching, all of you liking, commenting, subscribing. That is all because of you. I appreciate all of you so much for helping me get to where I'm going, because this would not be done without you. You are what makes this happen. And of course, for those who want to check out my latest episodes of the Jacksonian, see who I've got on there, or who I'm going to have going on Alabama, The Voice, college football, much, much more, check out my updates on Jackson BOCFB on @/Twitter, on Instagram and Threads, Jackson Johnson 543908. But if you don't like Instagram or @ for some weird reason, come on to my Blue Sky account, where I've got some magic on there, where I also put in my weekly calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises. Da 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 da. Austin, what have you got going on this week, good buddy? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
There we go. We'll get unmuted. So this week on my channel, be doing random live streams throughout. Maybe going live after the NFL draft. Talking about the Cowboys pick. Maybe doing video updates. Of course, channel here with show with Jackson. Of course, do this weekly until the college football season gets back. Going through things, talking about the weekly sports, and you can also follow me on X/Twitter, whichever you like to call it. And just got a lot of things in the works. I've got a couple interviews coming up as well. Well, of course, as always, keep it locked here. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the ride. And I look forward to what's to come. And like Jackson said, we appreciate and we thank you for being here with us each and every week, or at least trying to. And for our callers that do show up for us, whether you're crazy or not, we appreciate you. We cannot do this without you. We do not get here without you. So, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another great video, live stream. And we've got more great things coming to you in the future. We can promise you that. This is not the end. This is just the beginning.
And with that, we wish you all a good night and sleep well and stay safe, stay cool, stay away from that pollen. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever, and we'll see you soon.
Go Cards!